What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today, on episode 40 of the podcast, we are talking about the second entry in the Wesley Snipes Blade trilogy. Blade 2.
Yeah.
There's no fancy title for this movie. It's just Blade 2. Here it is. That's what you get. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful DNA Gaming, consisting of Dan and Angela, and they're rocking some sweet merch tonight.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Hello, by the way.
It is exciting. It smells like fresh ink.
Does it? Oh, that's
Are you getting
delightful.
double vision too?
It's just halfway through the show, I just look over and
It's blacked out. Yes.
somebody wake him up. Oh boy, this is already off to a great start. But yes, we have merch, everybody. There it is. Look, they got some merch. Everybody who ordered merch has it, except for me. I haven't got mine yet, so hopefully for the Blade Trinity episode, I'll be rocking my merch. But if you want your own merch, make sure to click the link in the description below over on TeePublic, because we got shirts, sweatshirts, all the good stuff. And let us know how it is. Just so, you know, if we need to move to a different site, we will. If it's not the best quality, we want to make sure you guys are getting some good stuff.
This is comfy.
For the people who are listening, what'd you get there?
I got a hoodie.
What color is it?
It's gray.
Yeah, dark gray.
Dark
Like a
gray.
heather gray.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
I got heather gray.
not heather gray.
That's actually the same color shirt I just ordered. Is that
Really?
the heather green? Yeah, my wife. I let my wife pick out the color, and then she got a green one. Why do like the men's shirts have like the cool heather colors, but the women's don't? They just have the basic color. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
she got the green
my only
one, though.
ornaments.
So, yeah. My wife got some merch.
Yeah. That means she's got to be on here, right?
Oh, we'll see.
That sounds like pulling teeth.
When we do like the Wizard of Oz or like Dirty Dancing or Grease, maybe she'll come on. We'll see. We'll see. But everybody who's here to listen about Blade 2, yes, we are going to talk about Blade 2 in this episode. But we're on episode 40. This is episode 40. Can you believe it? That we've done 40 podcast episodes already.
It's the perfect time to wear this too.
It's wild to think about.
We're still trucking.
Mm-hmm. We're only a couple months away before the big 1 year. Don't know what we're doing for it, but hey,
something.
We're going to do something. But yes, today we're talking about Blade 2, released on March 22nd, 2002. What were you guys doing on March 22nd, 2002?
Fuck, what was I doing?
We weren't married, but no, we weren't together very long. No.
Oh, you guys were together in 2002?
Hell
no,
we weren't. I didn't even know.
I'm thinking the opposite direction. No, I was in high school in 2002. I was a sophomore.
Wow.
I was a sophomore as well.
Oh no! What? See, I would have been.
I don't know how to math it.
I would have been 10. So I would have been in like 5th grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. No, 5th grade when this movie came out. And boy, do I remember it coming out. I remember going to the video rental store when we go visit my dad on the weekends, and we would. When I was a kid, horror movies were my favorite. So we would always go to the horror section of the video store, and Blade 1 and 2 were rented a lot.
I could just picture like little Parker. Hey, Daddy, can I get some Skittles and Blade 2?
Skittles? No, you gotta go
shut the hell up. Go get it.
Give me some gummy bears, man. Give me them Haribo gummy bears.
Dude, so good. So good.
That's what it's all about.
Such good.
This was directed by Guillermo del Toro.
That's why it's awesome.
If you don't know who Guillermo del Toro is, you clearly don't watch movies, or good movies, by the way. He has done a lot since about the early 90s, starting off with Kronos. He did Mimic in 1997.
I want to see that.
Now we'll put that on the list because I want to see it too. I've never seen it. The Devil's Backbone in 2001, Blade 2 in 2002, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy 2, Pacific Rim. He directed a Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons.
Did he?
In 2013. He directed, you remember that teaser, that PT video game?
Yeah. He was part of that.
He was a co-director with Hideo Kojima for that. He directed, he created a show called The Strain, which actually has vampires in it that are very closely related to the Reapers in Blade 2, the way that they're designed. Crimson Peak, The Shape of Water, which is the one that he won all the awards for. Yeah, and then the one that just came out this year, Nightmare Alley. And the one I'm very excited for is the stop motion Pinocchio movie coming to Disney Plus.
I didn't know he was doing a Pinocchio movie. Didn't know anything about it. Is it gonna be terrifying?
It's gonna probably be creepy. It's gonna have some creepy elements. I mean, come on, the original Pinocchio was creepy as hell. The island there with all the kids turned into donkeys. I think that scared some kids.
Oh yeah, it did for sure. And then like Monstro the whale.
Yes,
kind of intense stuff.
I'm very excited. It's just because it's stop motion too, which I love stop motion. But yeah, Guillermo del Toro is awesome. He's made a lot of great movies, and I'm gonna let you guys start off with what you guys thought of this movie, and then I'll end it, of course, because I feel like I'm not gonna be on the same page as you guys.
Okay,
so start off.
I liked it better than the first one.
So just there it is. Just like John
good.
Hammond says, there it is.
Well,
I stopped taking notes after a certain point because I was just so focused on watching the movie.
It's true facts. It's like I stopped taking notes. It's like, fuck the notes.
I was like, it was very good. I loved the fights. I loved, there was a certain person that I liked until.
Right. I think I know who you're talking about.
Later.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck?
So I take it this is your first time seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. So your reactions, see, as someone who's seen it so many times, I knew what was coming. So it wasn't as surprising, but I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that. It was like, oh shit, I forgot that happened though.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you asshole.
He played it well.
Yes.
He did do.
But yeah, it was very, very entertaining to the point where, like I said, I couldn't take notes anymore.
Alrighty.
I like it. It's my favorite of the three.
Okay.
Easily. This is easily, but I like this more than I do the original. As she said, I like the fight scenes. I like that there was more gore in it. There was more horror elements to it than the first film. There was some really interesting use of practical effects, as Del Toro does. There was a bit more CG than I remember, but it's whatever.
Yes.
It's okay. They didn't totally lose all the practical. This was kind of the thing at the time to put CG like everywhere and everything. Hell, it still was the thing to do at the time. Right. I like the characters. I think Blade was more of a emotive character instead of being stoic and mad the whole time. Like he had some pretty good one-liners and shit like that. And Ron Perlman was great because I love Ron Perlman. It was good. I like the creatures. The creatures in the film were cool. It was an interesting idea. There was a bit of an of course I've seen it multiple times. You have as well. The how it all played out in the end, I thought that was pretty well done. There was just more going on in this movie than the prior. Nothing against the prior, because the prior is a good movie. It's a great origin story for the franchise, but it's just a different kind of movie.
All right.
But yes, I like it.
I
don't like it.
Like the first. No, I don't hate it. I like this movie a lot, but I like certain characters to me in this movie, especially characters we saw in the original, just didn't like Whistler. Whistler was such a disappointment in this movie. Chris Christopherson literally looked like a guy who got a paycheck and was just like, just say these lines. And he did them very meh, like just half-assed, it seems. Like he didn't want to be there. And when we get to the third one, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
It just seems like he phoned his performance in, and it was really disappointing because I love the character of Whistler, especially in the original. Yes, I do agree. Blade is more like he shows more emotion and his expressions. He jokes around sometimes.
Yeah,
I like the way that he interacts with the group. What were they called? What was that group called? The group of the vampires that he helps.
I don't remember.
They had a name. I can't remember who the hell they were.
I know. Well, I agree. It seems like they tried to make Blade more like, no offense to the first movie, but more like the main character.
Right.
Not just like the mad dude that doesn't say very much. And Christopherson was pushing the narrative a lot more. Like as far as the exposition, Christopherson was explaining everything. And of course, he's very much pushed more to the back in this film, which sucks because I like you. I think he's one of the best. He's pretty much one of the best characters from this entire film series. So
I had a lot of fun with it. I love anything that Del Toro directs, even though you can tell. So this was the only film that he's ever done that he didn't have a hand in writing. It was all David S. Goyer.
Oh, okay.
And supposedly, from stories I've read, he didn't really like David S. Goyer. David S. Goyer has gone, like, throughout his career, there's been a lot of, like, people who have come out to just say, like, he's just a very hard person to work for. And he's a writer. So, like, he's a very, like, no, what we're doing is what I wrote on the page. There's no kind of going around things. And I feel when we get to the third Blade, that's when it all starts to fall apart. Because now because he then goes into the driver's seat as the director. But we'll get more into that next week when we talk about Blade Trinity.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
No, I
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I understand what you mean, because when you have a film that large, and like obviously the writer has his vision of what he wants, but so does the director. So does the effects person, because they've got to put their spin on. So do the actors. So do, the sound people. Like, they all contribute. But if you're like, no, fuck y'all, this is what I want, it kind of really stifles the creative process of a film, I think. But you can't. But too much is also a bad thing too. So I don't know. That's what I think. What do I know? What do I know?
I really like the design of the Reapers. I love the whole, like, the anatomy of them and how they can be killed. And I watched, so Del Toro produced a show, which I believe were based on books I believe he wrote, called The Strain, which was about a vampire outbreak, which had vampires very similar to the Reapers. They were called Strigoi, and it was pretty much like, it was literally about how vampire, like this weird form of vampire tries to take over the world. And they were an ancient species and all that. I highly recommend watching the show. It's got a lot of good performances in it. Okay. But the design of the vampires in Blade are very similar to the Strigoi in The Strain, which came out like 12 years later.
So do you think he's like, okay, well, since I didn't get to do what I wanted with this idea, I'm going to do my own version?
So from what I've read, he wrote the stories before he did Blade 2. So so I don't know if he contributed that aspect of the Reapers, and then later on just kind of fledged it out into something else, not Blade related, but it was kind of like an early, view into what he was going to do.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, but it's really cool. I like the design. Luke Goss, who plays the main Reaper, I think he does a great job. I recognized him. I think he was in do you remember Death Race? The movie Death Race?
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember who's in the original. I think Nicolas Cage might have been in the original.
Of course.
But Luke Goss, who played the head Reaper, and I'm blanking on his Nomak, Novak. Is it Novak or Nomak? I think it's whatever.
Isn't Novak a no-bake cookie?
Nomak.
Nomak.
Okay.
What's the no-bake cookies?
Novak.
Yeah, cookies. Yes, Nomak.
But he was in one of the Death Race sequels, and I really liked him. He also played the villain in Hellboy 2. There's actually the actor who played the villain in Hellboy 1 was also in this movie. So,
you mean who played Rasputin in the first one?
I believe so.
Who did he play in this?
I'm looking through the trivia right now. Carol Roden. He played Rasputin in Hellboy. In this movie he plays Conan. Conan? I don't even know who that is. I can't even remember who that is.
Look at my hand, Conan.
This is good. Whatever. We're gonna move on.
This is quality.
This is
right here.
Oh, I was looking for like Conan.
Who is that?
I can't remember.
I don't either.
Was he the lawyer guy? Was he the lawyer?
Oh, I
the
bet
one who's human.
Yeah,
Conan.
because his name is Carol Conan or whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch.
Yep. He played Rasputin in Hellboy, and then Luke Goss played the villain in Hellboy 2. I've said that about 4 times already. So
you should play a couple more just to establish it.
Throw it in there.
Wait, what was he in again? I missed that.
No.
Oh,
Norman Reedus was in this movie. Norman Reedus.
Before he was like big.
Listen, all right, Boondock Saints. Boondock Saints.
When did that come
This was
out?
before this, I believe. Or it could have been the same time.
Oh,
I think it was like 99.
No.
Boondock Saints.
You okay? Oh, yeah, you got... Oh, you're lucky I did not slap your arm with this.
Would have hurt you.
That would have been death.
Yeah, the Boondock Saints, I believe, came out in 99. So yeah, this was 3 years after Boondock Saints. So he was something. He was something, I think. But of course, he doesn't become huge until The Walking Dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Ron Perlman, of course, playing the same character he plays in Alien Resurrection.
Yep.
Literally the same fucking character. I love Ron Perlman, but man, there are some times where I watch him, I'm like, you're the same fucking guy in everything.
The guy gets typecasted. He
does. He's just that douchey, stuck up piece of shit.
Yep. That's what he does.
But he originally he was supposed to play a neo-Nazi that was like in the script, and they were like, yeah, let's maybe not do that. Because they had the whole line where he asks Blade, do you blush? Which is very racist, by the way.
Obscenely racist.
And I guess it was Wesley Snipes' idea to put that in the script because it was something that was said to him once.
Doesn't surprise me.
So
sucks for that happened to him, but it doesn't.
100%. Donnie Yen was in this. We talked about Donnie Yen last week. He was in Rogue One, which is one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. That's why I said one of the.
I know. I'm just saying second.
One of the. He was actually the film's fight choreographer, which was pretty cool. So he was a wasted character. Can we just say that he was such a waste? He dies on screen.
He's getting 2 paychecks.
Oh my God. 2 paychecks. Wesley Snipes was making 3 movies in this year. Yes, so there was so many scenes where they had to just find somebody, like they would just be like, all right, we're going to film scenes where we're not going to see Blade's face. And they would have to film it without him because he was doing 3 movies at the same time.
What else was he doing? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I'd have to look at
his IMDb. You keep going. We'll look.
But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. It's like, man, Wesley Snipes, he's a busy man in the early 2000s.
And
in the 90s. Man, Wesley Snipes is awesome. And then he, didn't pay his taxes. And then he got to...
that government, man, I swear. So
when this movie was originally made, the Reapers were supposed to bleed blood like everybody else. But they had to go back and change it to green because if they didn't, it would have gotten an NC-17 rating.
And admittedly, this movie is violent, but I don't understand that because it's not that violent.
No, this is very, very like I'm trying to think of the word. Yeah, it's not violent. It's not violent at all. And most of it is vampire deaths, which all have to do with the light, which then they just turn into ash. And to me, I mean, yeah, it's a violent act, but it's not dudes getting their heads chopped off or like Blade, the first Blade. There was a lot of blood in that. And most of it was from Quinn because he kept getting his limbs chopped off.
Right?
Or, you know, there was a blood sucking orgy going on in there.
Well, admittedly, yeah, like there are some pretty bloody moments with the Reapers attack the other vampires.
Yeah,
there's some interesting moments there. But I agree with what you're saying. Like it doesn't make sense unless, I don't know, somebody had something against somebody else to keep this movie from being too outlandish. Because literally Hostel came out 3 years after this.
Oh, Hostel. The first piece of trivia on IMDb, which I will state might not all be true, but I want to read it anyways because I was like, okay. Over 30 members of the cast and crew were temporarily blinded by the misuse of UV lights in the vampire autopsy scene. Wild.
Not surprising.
Wild.
Why not?
Why not? Oh, man. I completely forgot that the actor who played Vinny. Did you see the original The Fast and the Furious? Dom's best friend. Was it his name? Vinny, I think.
Something like that. I know.
Is that Vinny from Fast and the Furious?
That's what I was telling Angela. I was sitting there. I was like, "Why the fuck does he look so familiar?" Yeah. It's like Fast and Furious. Like, shit.
I was like, "Of course, this guy." And of course, he plays the same fucking character he plays in just that fucking douche.
Yeah, dude, go listen. Just go steal some fucking VCRs and DVD players. All right, dude. Nobody gives a shit.
And the interesting one was the actor who played the the head vampire there, Damaskinos. He was played by the guy who he played Stryker. No, not Stryker. He was the evil scientist who created Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Strucker. Von Strucker.
Yeah, he plays him, and he plays the evil scientist in Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like, what the fuck?
He's been talked about on this show before.
God.
Yeah, that guy. He always plays a bad guy. I don't even know if he's been in stuff much lately. Didn't really look into it.
That's hard to say.
You see that? No real Reapers were harmed in the making of this movie.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we don't want the Reapers getting hurt.
That's funny.
All right, are we ready to run through the plot?
Let's run it
of this movie.
Let's run it hard into the ground, rough and hard.
All right, so this movie opens in what I thought was Russia because that's where the last movie ended, but we're not. We're in Prague.
Fucking Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, this was actually filmed in the Czech Republic.
I feel this beginning part is a very unfair representation of Czechoslovakia. Or was it Czech Republic or the Czechoslovakia now?
It was. I don't know when.
What is a Czech Republic?
Well, I think it's going to say that now, but it depends on when they became a republic.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I don't know, but yeah, I think this is an unfair representation because it's all looks all like East German,
like rundown,
former Soviet bullshit. I'm like, that's not fair.
So we're in Prague. We're at a blood bank where a man gets a ticket and sits next to a coughing man, a very sickly looking man. And you're like, oh, who is this? A woman asks the man a bunch of questions as she brings her in. So the man that he sits down with, does he offer him anything? I'm trying to remember.
Ask about drugs or something.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact conversation, but the guy sits down next to this dude. He's really pale, looking rough. He's got his hood up, coughing a lot. And this woman comes up and brings him in. And the whole way down this hallway, she's asking him a million questions. And they're just very like, why do you need to know the answer to this question? Just, typical questions doctors ask. They bring him into a room They strap him down to a chair and he starts crying like hysterically, like, please, no, please stop. And then it all turns into laughing and he starts laughing at him and everybody's like very confused. The fuck is happening right now? Until he literally like rips out of his restraints and just goes ham on all of the people in this room. You don't get to see the full extent of him eating, which I liked that they didn't like give you that reveal right in the beginning. It was later on you got to see like the full extent of what they look like, even though you do get, she does ask the question of like, how long have you had that slit in your chin? It's like, was it like, didn't he say like he was born with it?
Something like that. She asks like, how'd you get that scar, that mark on your chin or whatever? And he says something, some excuse he gives her. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. And he attacks the room and states he hates vampires. And you're like,
yes.
Oh, all right.
So he's like a super vampire, like a double vampire. He
Blade
hates his own being.
Yeah. I mean, you find out later why.
Oh, absolutely.
Blade narrates a recap of events of his life and how Whistler turned. And I'm like, oh boy, I forgot about this part. This wonderful scene of, I love these recaps. Well, it's like, if you didn't see the last movie.
Last time on Blade.
Yes. Previously on Blade.
Yeah, exactly.
Blade chases a man down a hallway, shooting them, making them combust. I love him just literally running down the hall, just doing crazy moves, just shooting everybody.
Yeah.
And they're all, turning into ash, which the CG looked better in this movie, but it still looked pretty,
There were some shots I was like, maybe not. Yeah, I hear you.
Two of the men hop on bikes and attack Blade. One crashes, and Blade decapitates the other before the bike hits his car, and then he blows it a kiss.
Yep. Got to be sweet about it.
Mm-hmm. Threatens the other by, I love that he takes the other guy and literally like revs up the tire and then like threatens to like put his head into it. Well, he kind of does because he's got the helmet on. I thought it was pretty cool. The kill on the first biker though was sick. He like gets on the back of the bike and then wraps that thing around his neck and then pulls on it.
Yes.
Ah, so cool.
It was good.
He takes the man named Rush and has him get him into a vamp safe house and goes to town on everybody. I love how you got that one cocky guy who's like, I'm looking for this dude. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he just fucking shoots him. I wasn't here to ask questions, man. You didn't answer my question. You die. Blade, you're so cool.
I'm the one asking questions here, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. And so in the first, I'm gonna be that guy because that's what the show's all about. In the original Blade tells Karen about how to kill a vampire. You aim for the head, you aim for the heart. The rest you're fucked. So how come Blade can stab a dude in the nuts and he combusts? He stabs a dude in the shoulder, he combusts. He stabs a bunch of guys in places that you're like, did that guy get stabbed in the foot and then just go up in flames? But the fact that he stabs the dude straight in the junk, bro, and he just, I mean, it was a cool kill, but
I said, did he just do that? Dan's like, yep.
I wonder if one of these guys like tripped over a silver stake, they just burn up. Like
he just like he accidentally pick it up like
exactly.
Car blows up.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Exactly. That's what I thought of. Like these guys are getting wasted. Anyway. I noticed that when we first watched it, I was like, well, I thought to myself, like, well, they kind of threw the mortal wound or mortal blow like concept out the window.
Right out. Yep.
Yeah.
Right out the window.
It's like, bye.
Anything remotely silver. Like, oh, you guys want some earrings? Here's some silver earrings. Pierces his ear.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really cool kills, but you're just thinking in the back of your mind is like, the continuity here is a little weird, especially when it's written by the same guy.
I'm just assuming Claire's is just full of ashes.
Just all the female vampires coming in trying on those really cheap ass fucking earrings.
Oh yeah.
Those aren't made out of real silver. What do you mean?
They burn anyway.
Yeah.
It's almost like he forgot what he wrote last time. Like, damn it, I lost the script. What did I write?
That'll never happen in any other Blade movie at all, ever.
Oh no, you're
No,
absolutely, absolutely not. Blade finds the reason Blade is here is because he's trying to find Whistler. Yes, Whistler didn't die.
Yeah.
If you listen to the last week's episode, I kind of pretty much hinted at that. He was turned. He turned, and the vampires pretty much used him as a servant, made him do bad things, and then kept him in a tank full of blood.
Well, don't forget the one guy that showed him into that place. He's like, "I'll see you later."
Yes, and guess what? He sees
and he
him later.
does.
In a great fucking scene.
More than once, actually.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you're right. Rush is just in the worst places. It's like, fuck.
No break there. No
what the
break.
hell, man? Maybe you should go to a different city there, Rush.
Exactly.
So Blade finds Whistler in the tank, and you see his fangs, which was I liked it. I liked the cool shot of like he's kind of like laying there after he opens the tank. You can kind of see the fangs poking out, but they don't last long. Blade decides not to kill him, and he takes him home because he was about to kill him, and then he picks him up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm taking you home." We get to the new Blade headquarters, and who's there but our good friend Scud, played by Norman Reedus. And I love how Whistler calls him Skid, and he's like, "No, it's Scud."
Yeah, right. He's watching Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Heck yeah. A couple times.
Blade, so he's like Blade's tech guy. He works on his car. He does he's pretty much a hacker. Sets up all the security around the warehouse that they're stationed at.
Works on gadgets for him.
Yep. Whistler gets locked in a room and injected with a neurotoxin that will hopefully cure him. And final verdict is it does.
Yep.
Because there is barely any mention of Whistler being a vampire after that. Other than there's maybe it's mentioned once or twice. And usually it's by Scud because he's just like, "Oh, you shouldn't trust him. You shouldn't trust him."
He got,
he's part of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He got the his vet. He's like, "There you go. You'd be better or not.
I'll see you tomorrow."
So the curtains will open whether you're cured or not.
Yeah.
Yes. Blade has flashbacks of finding Whistler, but Whistler never died. It's pretty much replaying the scene from Blade 1. Where he gives him the gun and you hear the gunshot, but guess what, spoiler, he didn't die. So what does he do? Just shoot in the air to pretend like he killed himself? I want to know.
Maybe he was too far along.
Could be.
He couldn't kill him.
His body just was like, no.
That's right, right.
He's fighting himself.
Evil Dead. It's like Evil Dead 2.
Yes. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about those movies. Can't wait to rewatch them all, and my wife to go, fuck.
She'll do that halfway through, and then once we get to Army of Darkness, she's like, "Oh, this is all right."
Yeah.
Whistler's back, everybody! Woo!
You know, I'm really pissed because he does not whistle one time during any of these movies.
He does not.
This horse shit does not live up to his name.
And you can. You know he can do it. This man is a country singer, all right? And those guys know how to whistle.
Absolutely.
Well, sorry, not just guys. And all country singers. I know you can all whistle. So yeah, we find out that his Norman Reedus' character's name is Scud, which is a terrible name. I can't remember what he says it stands for.
All right,
something I probably should have paid attention to. Didn't really care. They argue.
Okay, we didn't either.
Yeah, they argue about shit because he's a young guy doing stuff, and Whistler's that old Stratman guy who started it all. How dare you fuck with my shit? It's like, you were gone for like 2 years, which he thinks has only been a couple weeks. Like, he's, how long has that been gone? It was, I think he says like a couple months, or he's like, what, like a month, 2 months? He's like, let's not worry about that. And he's like,
yeah, he's like too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, he figures it out.
Years. So they argue about shit, but it's go time because they have company. And this is where you get the Guillermo del Toro specialty with this fight with these two characters that come in. Is it Naisa or Nissa? And
Nissa
I can't. And the other guy.
Yes, the other guy.
The other guy.
Oh.
They come
Assad.
Assad. They come flipping in, which actually the CG of them like flipping and swinging from the rafters actually didn't look bad. I'll give it that.
I think they did a good job because they were in the black suits against the dark background.
Yeah.
So they kind of blended a little bit. Yeah, I agree.
Right. But yeah, they're coming in and we get a cool sword fight between one of the characters. You don't know which one's which, but one of them is pretty much holding Whistler and Scud, at gunpoint, and Blade's having a sword fight with the other. But they got really cool suits that have like the goggles that can get the adjust, kind of like the new Spider-Man. He's got the adjustable eyes. But but Blade's got the big wall of UV light, and when he turns it on, you get the ones where they get small. But they're doing a cool sword fight, and it's really fucking fast too. Holy shit!
Yeah, you're gonna see Wesley Snipes do some awesome martial arts in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think even more so than the first one. I think.
But was it really Wesley Snipes in this scene?
It wasn't. You're right. It could have been anybody else.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what scenes he was in and what he wasn't in.
Yes, it's true.
How much time was Wesley Snipes in this movie?
No one will ever know.
Only on the close-ups.
Yep. Yeah, only on the. So they are there. These two are there to offer Blade a truce because they are vampires and they have a common enemy. Said, well, we've been training to hunt you down, but we have a common enemy and we need your help. And he's like, what? I feel like this goes against everything I've been for, when it comes to the whole point of my life.
Yep.
But sure, let's see what they got to say. And of course, Whistler's the only person with common sense. He's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And man, vampires always have the coolest fucking layers.
Yep.
Just like, all right, guys, we're going to go into this castle in the middle of a city that has a crazy ass elevator that goes down like 75 floors into the center of the fucking earth.
Well, this is the first time I believe we hear them refer to humans as familiars.
Yes.
Yeah, like if they're like under their control or whatever.
Right. Because in the first one, he doesn't ever say it. He just talks about how there are humans that are pretty much vampires' pets. But we get the familiars. And boy, does familiars pop up a lot in the third one. Jesus Christ. I think I heard that word more than any word in that movie.
Yep. True.
So just put that I like the invitation they have, and you got to put it into the freaking contraption that goes down, and that's what opens up the door to the cool entrance to where what was his name? Say it.
Where'd he go? Damaskinos.
That's where he's hiding because he's a very pale vampire who. Well, I mean, I can't go out in the sun, so I guess I can't get tanned.
Nope, no sun for you.
So yeah, we meet Damaskinos. He's pretty much like the head of a vampire group. He's a very old vampire. He's
a pure blood.
Yep,
as he mentions.
They appreciate Blade killing Deacon Frost. It's the only time we ever get a reference to the first movie.
I think it's the last time you hear anybody talk about Deacon Frost.
Yep. So they want Blade to help eliminate this new breed of creature and their leader, Novak. Is it Nomak or Novak? We already talked about this. It's Nomak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was Novak. I'm sorry. I literally have Novak in my notes the entire time. So, yay.
Well, as far as IMDb, but it could be a mistake.
I thought it was Nomak.
I mean, I believe you. It says Nomak on IMDb, and it says Jared. His name is Jared Nomak. Nomak. Sorry. So yeah, so we meet Nomak. Well, we don't. We already met him, but yeah. So they want Blade to kill this new creature in Nomak, and Scud tells Blade to keep an eye on Whistler because he doesn't trust him yet. Secretly, trust isn't with Whistler; it's with someone else.
That Whistler's a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Nomak attacks, and we get a good look at what he fully looks like when he feeds. It's when he's in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And he attacks just kind of a dude who's selling drugs on the street.
Oh, yeah.
And he brings him into the alleyway, and he throws him through the window and then rips him out. And that's when you see that the chin is a split, and it just like attaches. It's like a fucking. It's like a snake. Just.
And then they have that little.
They got the tongue.
Yeah.
It's a cool design. I really like it.
They did mention in the scene. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was they mentioned in the scene prior that before all this happens about how Nomak is a carrier of a new form of vampirism.
He is patient
disease.
Zero.
Yeah, which he could spread to other people by biting it that turn into more Reapers.
Yeah, and this is pretty much why the vampires want Blade's help, because it doesn't just turn humans, it turns vampires as well.
Yep.
And so Blade gets his treatment again, but he does it to himself. And then he meets the crew he'll be working with. We got Lighthammer. He's the big giant. He's the tatted muscle man. His girl. Yes,
he is.
I can't remember her name. I think it was like
L.
It started with a V.
It started with a V. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We got Chupa.
Verlaine.
We have Chupa, which is Vince from Fast and the Furious. We got Snowman. What a weird name for Donnie Yen's character. Priest and Reinhardt, which is a cool name, but unfortunately this character sucks. Played by Ron Perlman. And goddamn, is Ron Perlman just a racist?
Yep. Yes, he is.
I love all.
Go ahead.
Oh, we were talking about how they get into it.
Yeah, they get into it, and Blade starts calling him like all these like slang terms for a German.
Yep.
Like Fritz and stuff like that. Yep. I was like, yeah, boy. So good.
And yeah, he pretty much, tells him, he pretty much threatens him because he's like, we've trained for a long time to kill you. What do you think is going to stop me from doing it right now? And Blade comes up, he's like, do it. And then Blade fucks with him and attaches an explosive to the back of his head, which is really cool.
Dumbass.
Yep.
Reinhardt is such an idiot.
Blade tells Nissa, or whatever the hell her name is, they need to go to the House of Pain, which is like a club.
They do a lot of anal. I'm sorry.
Where sometimes your filter is broken.
I just do it to get a rise out of you guys.
So they got to go there because they are expecting this is where Nomak is going to attack because it's full of a lot of vampires, and that means food and more people to form Nomak's army. So Whistler explains. Yeah. Whistler goes to, or what they get to the House of Pain, and they're in the truck, and Whistler is explaining all the new weapons. Scott has a cool one. Too. I forget what was the one he had. Oh, it was the gauntlet that Blade has. That when he punches, it releases like the toxin or it was garlic or silver or something into whatever it punches.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to kill it. Whistler wants to go in, but he can't. Blade's like, nah, you got to stay back. So go to the roof and keep an eye out. So he's up there at his post. Scud stays in the van. That's where I'd want to hide out. And everybody else goes inside the club.
I want to be inside.
I don't want to. I would rather be in the truck.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I wouldn't want to be inside.
Yeah,
I would stay.
Lock the van up. I'm good.
Far away.
He's a human, and there's two groups of people trying to eat each other. I don't think
And we get more of Reinhardt being a dick. That's just his game here.
Yeah, clearly.
We get an epic slow-mo entrance into the house where everybody's like, you get the Blades in the middle, everybody's on the side to do the slow-mo walk.
Oh,
of course.
Like, oh God, this is an early 2000 movie.
Yes, it is.
They go into they pass through a weapons hall right into a club. What a way to enter into a club. It's like, here's a bunch of guns and everything. All right, have some fun.
A bunch of
your ass off.
Cutting and torture devices too. I'm like,
yeah. Well, it's called the House of Pain, so it makes sense.
They all came in with guns. I'm like, doesn't that look a little suspicious?
Right.
Not in Vampire Town.
No one gave a shit that these guys, that anyone came in with a gun. Nobody. So they pass through this hall and they get into the club, and Blade runs into Rush again. Just like dancing, having a good time. He looks at it like, fuck.
No, I think like when he runs off, I think he smirks.
He does.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was like, he knows what's up.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
So after this, they set up cameras around the club, and you can't fool Blade Reinhardt as he's aiming his gun at Blade, but then Chupa's like, he's got you. And he's got him aimed down. Right back at him. Yep.
Yeah.
Nomak and the crew stationed under the club. There's like a sewer down there, and they're all like right underneath the dance floor, which I thought was a really cool image where it shows them all grouping up down there, and then it kind of pans up to everybody dancing above. He knows that Blade's there. He wants to have that confrontation. They start stalking, stealthy. They're very animalistic. They're very like they a lot of them they kind of like crawl on all four. It's like the movie you guys just watched on your movie night, The Descent. Kind of reminds me of the movement of the creatures in that movie.
Yeah, like
where they're not. People. Yeah, they're not very. They're more creature than human. Mm-hmm. Even vampire, because vampires are very. I mean, they're humanoid.
Nomak's probably the most human-esque of the bunch.
Well, yeah. Well, we find out why.
Yep.
So yeah, Scud he's in a tough spot because a bunch of them start attacking his van, and he is just not having a good time. Yeah, and Whistler isn't at his post. Where are you? Yep. So you look up, it's pouring out, which always makes great scenes when it's raining really hard.
Exactly.
Nomak gets Nissa. Scud gets attacked by a group of the Reapers, as they are known. And these things don't die like normal vampires because they get shot by a lot of silver and nothing happens. And they're even talking about it on the radio. They're like, okay, we just shot them with a fuck ton of silver and they're still walking. What's going on? And they're so fast. They're just like, they're just making moves all over this place. So yeah, a lot of wasted bullets in this whole sequence. You got Reinhardt,
especially with Chupa. What the fuck is he doing?
He's got like this. Well, he's got this like handheld like Gatling gun thing that he's fucking firing.
It's literally an M16, but it's got the dual like drum mags on the bottom.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if he didn't turn to ash at this point, he's certainly not going to within the next 20 seconds.
A few more bullets.
So yeah, we Priest and a Little Hammer, they get bit, but Little Hammer hides it. He, his girl comes up, she's like, oh, have you been bit? Because the Reaper like attached itself to his face, and what it does is it attaches with these like teeth on the bottom, and then it like uses its tongue, like this weird thing that comes out of its mouth to like attach to it, but it's got like poison barbs that are supposed to like knock you out while they feed.
Neurotoxin.
Yep. So he gets bit, but his girl comes over. She's like, "You've been bitten?" He's like, "No, I'm fine. It's just, because dude, it was crazy because he latches himself on that Little Hammer dude and just digs his fingers into his back."
Yeah. Like, that's cool effect.
That's gotta hurt, man.
Feel good.
But Priest gets it worse, man. That dude gets fucked up.
Yeah, he does.
He just gets tossed around and just mutilated. And yeah, like I said, we get a cool glow kill by Reinhardt with the light. We find out that the UV light is their only weakness. So Reinhardt, he shines the flashlight that's at the end of his gun, and it burns I like how they glow really bright blue when they go to burn. Blade and Nomak have a very Mortal Kombat like fight. Like, this is no joke. In my head, I'm like, fight. And then dun, 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 dun. Like, oh shit, things are happening.
He tries to talk to Blade about something. He's like, listen, we have, he wants to discuss something with Blade. Blade's like, fuck this dude, just starts fighting.
Yeah, I think it was more of like, we have a common but Blade's like, fuck you, that's what they told me about you.
Yeah, it's the usual bad guy thing. Like, no, we can.
So yeah, so his new gauntlets don't work because they don't affect the silver and the garlic and all that. It doesn't affect these type of whatever they're called, Reapers. Should we consider them a type of vampire? I don't know.
Well, they do mention early on that it is a different variant of the vampirism.
Right.
So I mean,
it's like a virus.
Yeah, different virus because they equate it to a virus.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Because he said it spreads like cancer.
He says actually it's similar to a parvo.
That's true.
Because of how and that's actually I looked in he says something about it being a parvovirus in the movie, and I looked it up, and they said there's a real disease in that strain that humans can get that's similar to vampirism, sensitivity to light, anemia, stuff like that. So
interesting,
pretty cool connection.
So yeah, they keep fighting, and the sun bounces off of Blade's sword and hits Nomak, and that's what ends the fight. He just runs away.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you guys, cheating with the sun and shit."
Yeah, and Blade literally after the fight's like, and Blade after the fight's like, "What the fuck, man? I literally used everything and nothing worked except for the sun." And they're like, "Yep, I guess these dudes are freaking beasts."
Sun, Mr. Golden Sun.
Yeah, they find Priest, and he is in rough shape, so they need to get rid of him. They need to, kill him before he turns, but unfortunately he turns before anything. And we get at first, was it does Blade chop off like the edge of his head with the sword?
I thought it was
or did Reinhardt?
I thought it was was it Reinhardt or Snowman or somebody did it. I can't remember.
Oh no, it was Snowman because he's the one who has the katana, and he chops off a portion of his head, and it doesn't do anything. So they burn him. Of course, they shoot part of there was like boarded up windows, and they shoot at it, and it shines the light in, and it burns him. But then you see the shot where I think it was Chupa. He looks at just the sliver of his head that's still the eye's still moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Nissa wants to examine one of the Reapers because the reason Whistler wasn't at his post is because he found a Reaper and where it was coming from, and it got trapped. So they grab it and they bring him, the Reaper, back to the lair. Nomak is the carrier of the virus, but you'll also find out he is patient 0. He is literally the first one to get it, and we'll later find out why. But the way that these things are wired is crazy. They have literally their heart is encased by impenetrable bone, so there's no way of killing them like a normal vampire or even a human. And their bite, they have the mandibles. I love how they have Scud open up the flaps there, and he's like,
she's like, hold them out.
He's like, just do it.
Yep. And they explain how their whole mouth structure works. I love this whole breakdown. They've explained the whole anatomy about how it can live without the head.
Yeah,
the body itself can live without the head and stuff. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's got the neurotoxin, the tooth there that puts out neurotoxins to paralyze its victims. So while it feeds, and it turns vampires or humans into these creatures, which is just terrifying.
But they only live so long if they don't have sustenance.
Yes, they'll start eating themselves. Yeah,
they equated them to crackheads. Yeah, because they're high metabolism, they need more blood to to process.
It was literally Blade going into the cell and talking to Nissa about how if you left him here long enough, he's going to start eating. He would start gnawing on his own arm. Yeah,
and then I think they said except for Nomak because he's the original one, he doesn't burn up as fast as his infected do.
So Scud and Whistler talk about Blade. About why are you part of this operation? And Scud tells him the story about how he hooked up with a couple girls and they turned out to be vampires and they started tearing him apart and Blade saved him, which I thought was a pretty cool story. And then at the end, when you figure out he's a piece of shit, you're like, oh, fuck this guy. You fucking ruined it. Piece of shit.
Spoilers.
Oh, whatever.
This whole movie.
Listen, you watch these reviews, you watch the movie.
Yeah.
So they create a cool UV ray grenade, which literally just it's one of the coolest weapons in this series, to be honest.
Yeah,
not just this movie, but the entire series. Everybody gears up. We get some Reaper nut juice to attract them. I love that, where the guy actually sprays it in his face. Whistler doesn't like how close Blade is getting to Nyssa, and Blade puts him in his place. He's like, listen, old man, I could have killed you. You were working for them, doing their bidding. I could have ended your life. So why don't you just know your place, old man? And how has Lighthammer not turned? How is it? Why did it take so long for him to turn?
The only thing I can guess, I can surmise, is how much longer it appeared the other one was on him. But it was the guy that was on Lighthammer was on him for a while.
It was a while, yeah.
I just assume it was for dramatic.
We got a kitty appearance for all our audio listeners.
Scamp.
You can't see Kitty, but the kitty is there.
And it's gone.
They go to the sewers in search of the Reapers. Whistler can't see shit because he's not a vampire. And he can't see in the dark. And he's not Blade, who wears sunglasses everywhere. Do you know Reinhardt never takes his sunglasses off throughout this entire movie?
Yeah. I noticed that.
This is where we everybody branches off in the sewers, and we get the very this was one of those. This whole sequence was one of those moments where you're like, shit, man, there are so many of these Reapers. Like, they just kept coming out of everywhere. Like, there'd be like 20 of them behind one character. Like, damn. But unfortunately, we find out Lighthammer has turned as his woman finds him feeding on Snowman, which is just such a
waste.
Disappointing. We didn't even get to see him do anything really that cool.
I know. I agree.
Okay, Verlaine is her name. Sacrifices herself to kill him by opening a manhole cover, which I thought was a pretty cool way to go. Like, she was in love with him. She loved him. She saw that he was gone, and it was the only way that she was gonna, end it was by sacrificing herself, which I thought was a really cool character choice for her instead of her turning.
I would sacrifice myself if you turned into a vampire, a zombie. She's a vampire.
I mean, would I rather be the crackhead version of a vampire, or would I rather be dead? I would rather be dead. Chupa and Reinhardt, they lure Whistler into like a room, and then they take they gave him night vision goggles, and then they take him away, and he's like, "What the fuck? I can't see now." And they're like, "That's fine," and then they start beating the shit out of him. You're like, what the fuck?
Yes, they're like, we lost one of ours. Now it's time for Blade to lose one of his.
Yep.
Just whatever.
Blade kills a bunch of his. He kills a bunch with his sword and a light grenade. We see the light grenades a lot in this sequence. We get the singles, and then we get the big one. So
Blade just walks it off. He's like, I'm good.
So Reinhardt, he gets to there's like a box full of these light grenades, and he can't the lever stuck to arm them. And so he casually is just like, oh, sorry, Blade, can't arm those things.
Did I mention the lever stuck?
Yep. And they encounter a bunch more Reapers, and they get a holy shit multi-kill on a lot of Reapers. They literally they blast the UV grenade, and man, such a cool effect. And the deaths look really cool with the way,
yes, they do.
They're all sprawled out everywhere.
Yeah.
Blade. So Reinhardt and Nyssa, they're trapped in this room where there's all different entrances, and there's so many Reapers, and they're pretty much looking at it as, we're gonna die. But Blade finally gets the charges to go off, sets the entire tunnel full of UV light, wiping out all the Reapers, scarring. It ends up scarring Reinhardt, and it saves Nyssa, but she still needs to be saved. And this is where Blade finds her, and we get our Blade sex scene, which is not a sex scene.
And nowhere near as bad as
this one was very, very mild compared to what we got in Blade. But yeah, so in order to save Nyssa, he, cuts his wrist, and she drinks from him.
So why does because they hit the grenade, the big bomb essentially of a pack of grenades,
Right.
and then they like dive underwater. I don't think that would stop UV radiation.
Nope. Immediately when she dove under the water, I was like, she would have been dead. The UV light would have went through the water and she would have died. It's not how it works. After his Blade is saving Nyssa, he gets attacked by Damaskinos men. I'm gonna say his name wrong, but I don't really care.
He gets like tased and shit.
He was betrayed. Yeah, he gets fucking the shit kicked out of him. Yeah, he was betrayed. He's being betrayed. Nomak runs into Whistler and he tells him that the Reaper strain was created by the vampires to help the vampires survive their killer weaknesses. And Nomak is Nyssa's brother. Dun, dun, dun. Did anybody see it coming? Did anybody see it coming?
No.
And boy, oh boy, we didn't just get one surprise or two surprises. We then get a third surprise as we find out Scud is a familiar. He's been working with the vamps the whole fucking time.
Admittedly, I don't remember Nomak being her brother because they almost have no reference. They never talk about a brother during the movie. Nope. It just kind of happens. Like, oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah. But then Scud, a piece of shit.
Yep, he talks about how because Blade has got the trigger for the bomb that's on the back of Reinhardt's head. He presses it, doesn't do anything, and Scud's like, "Oh, I fucked with you, Blade." That's literally what he does. He's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
it wasn't a bomb, dude.
Yeah, and Reinhardt rips it off his head.
Something about, you think they found how to get through the security? He's like, I'll let him in.
Yeah, I got through the security. Yeah,
just literally going through step by step of everything that he's done to portray Blade.
It's like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah, literally, and he dies.
But it's just
like a Scooby-Doo villain. Even though Scooby-Doo villains don't die, but you know what I mean. Imagine being a kid watching, like sitting there watching Scooby-Doo, and then fucking the guy just dies at the end.
Yeah, it's like they figure out who the guy is. Like, oh, it's Mr. Cunningham. I would have got away with it for you and the kids and that dog. And or he just like rushes them. The police are like, like
no, God,
or they just randomly explode. Like,
yes,
isn't that how it works?
I love it.
Yeah. The unnecessary explosion.
Well, admittedly, which was pretty funny how Scud died. I will.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
because he's holding the thing.
I didn't trust you the whole time, and then he hits it again, and it
blows
blows up.
Fake.
Yep.
He's like, it wasn't fake.
I just love Scud's reaction. He's like, oh fuck, and just
yeah.
Into all the Scud pieces.
Mm-hmm. Blade is
his marking was in the inside of
his mouth. Yep.
Yeah, which
it's very weird because I always thought like all the markings were on the wrist. That's where most of them were, right? It was on the
except for on the neck in the first movie.
Oh boy! Well, we're gonna see where other ones are put on other characters in other movies.
I was like, wait a minute.
How far down are we going here?
Sausage fest.
Woo! Blade is being used to figure out how to help create daywalkers. So pretty much the whole point was that Damaskinos, he came up with the Reaper virus or whatever it is. He used his son as patient zero to try to pretty much make it so that vampires could live like humans. They can go outside. They can not have the weaknesses that they have, but it didn't go so well. Yeah, fuck, man. I would hate to be a vampire. I love garlic. I'd be the idiot vampire who's like, oh, that smells good, and then I take a bite and I'm like, just fucking die. Do they explode from garlic?
Why not? Why the fuck not?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
They melt and explode in sunlight. So fuck, why not? You die. You like walk into like a Olive Garden. You're like, shit, no.
Yeah, just the fumes.
You don't even eat it. You just melt from the fumes.
Your girlfriend gets you a watch. You put it on. It's like, what is it made of? Silver. No.
Damn.
Sir, would you like some utensils? Sure. What is this made of? Silver. Fuck.
My fingers.
All the different ways you can die as a vampire.
Lose more patrons this way, I swear.
Oh God. So yeah, it didn't go so well. Nomak turned into a Reaper, and then of course it turned into like a plague where he's pretty much trying to wipe out the vampire kind because his father betrayed him.
Yep.
And
as one does.
Yeah. Oh, but man, Blade gets put on the table and they've put the fucking giant stakes through his arms and his legs, and like, holy shit, I remember this, but damn, it's brutal every time.
It's rough.
And it doesn't just go through. It goes through, spreads out, and like pins him to the table.
Like,
and it's just like a thud.
Yep. Del Toro at his finest right here.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the autopsy scene was my Del Toro at his finest scene.
Oh, you're talking about when they're cutting open the Reaper?
Yep. I was like, Del Toro. Yeah. It was good. It was good, though.
Oh, we didn't mention when they're doing the autopsy and we talked about the whole face and everything, but we didn't talk about, we had the chest that was encased with the bone, but the only weakness was you had to penetrate from the side.
Yeah, directly from the side.
Yeah, which would pierce the heart.
Which is actually an interesting reference. I don't know if this is what they were going for, if this is the thought he had, but not even like just bulletproof vests, because that's what I think of. But a lot of armors have this opening there for flexibility. Right. Bulletproof vests are more exposed here because you have to have that ability to move.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably what he thought of. He's like, oh, it's like a suit of armor around your heart. So
yeah.
And then like just the mouth and the stomach, like the center of the body.
Yeah.
Which gave me a really strong John Carpenter's The Thing vibe.
What a movie. So Reinhardt and Whistler, they hang out. And, just typical Ron Perlman being Ron Perlman.
Chit-chatting.
Yep. Nyssa and Daddy have a heart-to-heart, and she clearly isn't Daddy's little girl because he's like, I don't fucking care about anyone. I don't care if you're my blood. I don't care what. I am trying to save the vampire kind. So fuck off, lady. That's literally how the conversation went.
I mean, obviously he doesn't care because he turned one kid into
this
crazy person, and then could care less about the other one.
Mm-hmm. Whistler escapes and finds Blade. He pretty much he does. What's he do? He knocks Reinhardt out, right? Or he like hits him, and then he gets Blade's weapons and he goes through the tunnels that are underneath the floor. Then gets to Blade. And then we get Chris Christopherson trying to be emotional in the scene as he's like, Blade, don't die on me, Blade. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I like you, Chris Christopherson, but this isn't good. This isn't good line delivery at all. It's like, he's just like, oh, do I have to do this?
Getting that paycheck.
Oh, this is pain. But he does. He gets Blade off the table, drags him away. Nomak nearly gets to his father and Nyssa. It's one of those crazy like chase scenes where he's just dodging everybody. He's fucking tearing everybody apart. And they get into an elevator and he just misses the elevator from closing.
Like, Thomas Kino's like, you can't get in here. This force is impenetrable.
He's a bitch. He kind of reminds me of like a shittier version of the Emperor.
Emperor Palpatine.
Do it.
Oh yeah.
Do it.
Strike him down. Embrace the dark side.
Embrace the dark side.
Thank you.
Blade falls.
I am the Senate. I'm sorry.
Oh boy, what are we doing with Star Wars, man? I can't wait to talk about those.
Oh Christ. Yeah, carry on.
So Whistler is he's like carrying Blade across this balcony or like over these like catwalks that are above as Reinhardt's like shooting at him, and Blade crawls onto like the top of this. There's like a fucking blood fountain underneath, and he gets to the top and just flops right into it. Yeah, and the fact that Reinhardt does nothing about this, he's just he's fine.
Well, he actually, as he's falling, I actually was going to say, as he's falling, Reinhardt is actually trying to hit him. As he's falling.
Is he?
Like
I missed that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
So
he's at least putting some effort in instead of just like, well.
Yep. Blade falls into the vat of blood, and he rises like a phoenix and goes on a killing spree with some great music playing as it all happens.
That's just so good. Yeah, exactly.
Like, Jesus, who picked this?
Listen up, you motherfuckers!
Yes. Oh,
is that? I'm trying to think of what group that is.
It's oh god damn it! I just looked it up too. Come on, mouse.
They're the ones that have that music video with
It was Cypress Hill.
Oh, it's Cypress Hill. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I don't know. It just says performed by. There was Child of the Wild West.
Sure.
Oh, maybe that was. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Whatever. So yeah, he gets out and he disposes of Reinhardt really fast by cutting him in half.
Yes, deserves that shit.
Did not take a long time. It was kind of like how Quinn dies. They kept him alive all this time, and it was like he's dead.
I know. I was like, is there like more to that?
There was no fight.
It was very anticlimactic. It was just.
It's Crystal Method. Crystal Method.
Crystal Method. Because, okay.
Yeah, because they have that one fucking music video with Christopher Walken in it, and that's why I could not remember who they were. Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
where he's like he's like walking around a hotel and shit.
Yeah, that's like, it. It's just him running around like a building. That's it. Yeah. It's the whole music video.
Yep.
Don't forget.
Oh, sorry.
Did we already talk about where Blade fucks up all the guards?
Yeah, before he gets to Reinhardt.
Yeah, and he gives that dude like an amazing fucking suplex, and like the ground just explodes.
Yes.
And then this was why I was pointing out this one's being more violent, because I remember one of the guards, he just walks up to him and fucking curb stomps him, and blood just spurts. I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. I love Blade. Listen, I really hope Wesley Snipes did a bunch of his own stunts, because boy, it looks like he did, and it looks fucking awesome.
It does.
It looks awesome. So cool. Like the quick cuts and kicks and stuff where he kicks like backwards and shit, and you're like, this is fucking cool, man. I don't care. This is cool. Nissa locks her and her father in the building, and he's like, why did you do that? What are you doing? That's exactly how he sounds in my head.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And Nomak finally confronts him. He's like, Father, you fucking piece of shit. And then bites him. I'm like, kill the emperor.
Exactly. His dad tries to do like the guilt play.
Yeah, so like, I was just trying to save you. I love you so much. And he's like, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Take this tongue.
Blah.
Oh, man.
Don't do that with your dad. That's fucking weird.
That's weird. And yeah, we get green blood. The Damaskinos or whatever the fuck his name is. He bleeds green. He doesn't bleed blood.
It looks like what's the
I swear it
looks like Kool-Aid. It's like
yes,
it's like
yeah, he had like blue. Yeah, it was the
or Jello or
green.
It's like the Sharkleberry Finn.
Yeah.
Drink from Kool-Aid from the 90s.
Sharkleberry Finn.
Yes, from the 90s. What was the other one we got? We found those old ass Kool-Aid packs from the 90s.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I was
Sharkleberry Finn. Gotta love that.
Sharkleberry Finn.
That's great.
Absolutely. Some deep cuts, dude.
And then his body just turns to stone or ice or what happens to his body? I don't know, it's weird. And then he bites, and then Nomak bites Nissa, and okay. And then we get round 2 of our Mortal Kombat fight between Blade and Nomak.
Fight!
No, that wrong song. Sorry.
It would work in this movie.
Ready for this?
No. Wait, what? Space Jam? It's like, what the fuck?
This is where we get a lot of CG of Blade flying through the air and shit. Oh my god! I was like, oh, this looks bad. This actually looks fucking bad.
They cranked the CG up to 800.
Yeah, they did. They're like, shit, we haven't used much CG in this movie. We gotta fucking we got so much money left. Throw it at it.
Oh, it must have been. Jeez.
Oh man. So yeah, they're flying through the air. They're punching each other. Both get beat to shit, and Blade finally sticks his blade into Nomak, and it pierces his heart, but it doesn't kill him. Nomak decides that he's going to end it himself and takes the sword and finishes the job. And you get the dude, the death, like the whole slow burn of Nomak, where it's not like that immediate burn. It's just like slowly he burns and then his skull like rolls down. Which it was a really cool effect.
Yeah, he talks about how it does.
He's like, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yes. And then he's just like, ugh.
Yep.
This is a good way out.
Yep. Blade goes to Nissa, and of course she doesn't want to turn, so Blade brings her outside to see the sunset, or the sunrise, my mistake. And this was the thing that was very confusing. Another thing that I remember from the first Blade was when that head vampire guy gets brought out and meets the sun, and he turns into a fucking Indiana Jones character that blows up. Why didn't she blow up? Why didn't she fucking sizzle and blow up? Instead, she just burned. She just...
They forgot what happened in the first one.
But it's the same writer!
I know, he
forgot. Writer, what are you doing?
He forgot.
Son of a bitch.
Dude,
that's okay.
Like, I don't know, like, when I watched this, it has nothing to do with it, but if you know, anybody listening to this knows, like, early 90s-ish, not early 2000s, like, metal, like, that ending song makes me think, the ending part where he goes outside with her in the sun or whatever, makes me think of This Flesh a Tomb by Atreyu. It's a great song.
Yes.
It's off of the Curse album, but yeah, that's what I think of.
So, yeah, it's over. Whistler comes out, he sees what's going on, and then we cut to our good friend Rush. He's going to a what is this? What are these places called?
Like jerk shops, dude.
Okay. He's gonna go get some action, but instead, who's behind the curtain?
Station. It's a nut and go.
A porn gas station.
A nut and go. Come and go. It's just spelled correctly. Yes, okay. I remember, because this is gonna sound weird.
There's a gas station called Come.
Yeah, but it would be with a C instead of a K. So there is people have been. They know. If you know, you know.
Yeah, Pee Wee, the guy who played Pee Wee Herman, he was all about that life, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Shirking at movie theaters.
Yes. Well, see, they're like, I know about these because the only reason I do is if you've ever played Duke Nukem 3D. You could go into the porn shop. You could go into the porn shop, and in the back of a few maps, they have like a porn store or whatever. But there's like those jerk booths.
Yeah, I know. In GTA, I think in one of the GTA games, they had one of those too. We're getting way too into this. So yeah, he goes to one.
Go ahead, just go ahead.
He goes into one of these places. He's all excited as the curtain goes away. Who's there but Blade? And he just sticks his he stabs him right in the forehead. And end.
Okay, that another comment. Those jerk booths, because I need to talk about that. That was COVID social distancing before it was a thing. Private room, plastic screen between you and the dancing person. It's 100% safe. Social distancing.
It's a peep show booth.
Peep show.
I was going to say peep show, but I didn't.
For whatever reason, I couldn't think of the word.
Oh, and the best line Chris Christopherson said in this whole movie was when he was talking to Reinhardt, and he called him a fucking nipplehead.
Yes.
I always remember that line of dialogue.
Fucking nipplehead. So that's it. That's Blade 2. We didn't mention this had a $54 million budget, which in 2002 was a lot of money. I know that Deadpool was made on a 55 to $60 million budget, and that movie came out 10 plus years later. So, yeah, crazy. It made $155 million, which at the time was a success.
Yep.
And of course, it warranted a third movie, which we'll talk about next week, which is gonna be a doozy. You thought these first two were good? Wait till
next
number
week to
3.
see what the budget. Yeah, I want to know what the budget was on that movie, but I'm not gonna look it up. I'm gonna wait till next week.
It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, overall, I love this movie. I think to be honest, I have fun with all 3 of them. 3 is definitely one I don't know I'm gonna watch again anytime soon. like anytime soon. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I'll watch any of these anytime soon. Again, as much as I enjoy them.
I did take more notes on the third one, but because
it's a ride.
Yeah, if you're gonna, I think you should definitely watch. Well, we'll get to it. I'll say that for another day. But this is a good movie. I still think this one holds up as the best. At least it's the most entertaining to watch of the three. I think this movie is, but I still personally it's my favorite because I like Del Toro's touches they put to it and everything. Because obviously the first one is about vampires and stuff, but this one adds like the horror, like the monster element with the Reapers.
Yeah,
which of course Del Toro is really good at. I just think, I don't know, I just like the atmosphere, the characters, the writing was fun, the fight scenes were better than previous. Like I said, you had the monster element, you had like the two, the Blades team and then the vampires teaming up to fight a common enemy kind of thing, and it was cool. And a little bit of the twist at the end. So, and then the Emperor.
I loved you, son.
Fuck your sister. You were always my favorite.
Fuck blood. Vamps for life. I need that shirt made. Fuck blood. Vamps for life.
Oh, I'd buy it.
Oh, with the Emperor, with the Emperor from Star Wars. It's not even the guy from the fucking movie.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, next week we're talking about Blade Trinity. The week after that is a surprise because I still have to talk to the person that we're gonna do the episode with. And then we have to figure out what series we're going to be doing next. We have ideas, but we're not going to talk about it right now. Make sure to go to the YouTube, drop the follow, drop the like, comment down below. All the links to everybody's Twitters, Instagrams, Twitches are all going to be in the description. But I'll say it anyways. We are Dissect That Film on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and YouTube. Yes, we have merch. The merch link will be in the description over on TeePublic. Dan's rocking that sweet t-shirt. Angela has the sweatshirt. And I hopefully will have mine by the recording of the next episode.
It will be there. It will be here for sure.
I am Parker Dice. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be here tomorrow. I am Parker Dissect on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. And where can people find you two?
You know it.
You guys got to write it down. You guys got to write it
all
down.
I know what it is. I give her a shot at it. Our Twitch is DNA_gaming1, and our Twitter is DNA Gaming _1.
Okay. You guys want to plug your other Twitch or Twitters too?
Do it. Mine is Rome_21DW, where I post a lot of. Actually, I don't post a whole lot, but I just share a lot of dumb shit on the internet.
Mine's just Aradella.
Like I said, all the links will be in the description because it's a lot of things I don't want to pop up on the screen.
I have something important to say before we close out.
Okay.
We're two away from 250 subs.
Woo-hoo.
Go watch Jurassic Park 3.
Yes. 20,000 views.
Is it at 20K? I haven't even looked yet. Oh, tits. Oh, tits.
And I will be better at releasing the retro or the
22,000.
22,000.
Holy tits,
and I will be better at releasing
almost
the videos,
23.
the throwback videos on Mondays because I keep slacking on those. But we just released Jaws. By the time you guys watch this, Jaws, our video for Jaws, which was our 5th episode, will be up. And then next week this coming Monday will be Jaws 2, which, listen, the Jaws episode, you really want to listen to the Jaws 2, 3, and Revenge. Oh, and the best one, Cruel Jaws. It's going to be a fun week for anyone who likes watching the video forms of the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be a great time. But yeah, a lot of fun. Blade 2, great time.
Yep. Cool, 105.3.
Mm-hmm. Do we have anything else we want to say before we leave?
Remember, hold on, what was it? Remember, don't run with scissors, and lesbians never scissor with the runs. Thanks, and good night.
All right, I'll make sure to cut that out when I edit this. Oh, Jesus Christ, Dan.
It's what I do. I was like, think of something, think of a good closing statement. That's just like, bing. I was like, oh yeah, that one.
How could we just go through this entire video and then let's offend somebody right at the end?
Oh, he hasn't offended somebody yet?
That's sound advice.
I mean, it's taken 40 episodes for him to offend somebody. I'm pretty sure he's offended before now.
All right, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you all next week. All right, everybody? Bye.
Bye.